and here we go on a Dirty Thursday with the Bull Ring boys. Yeah, I haven't dusted out my old Bull Ring hat for this one. And he's back, Chad Hoff. All right, how about that? Yeah. Speaking of Chad Hoff, our show today brought to you by Northwest Tire. They've got a job opening, front counter sales. You still looking for some help over there?
Yeah, front counter sales. It's kind of a big opening because you're the first command there as you walk in the door and see. So if you're interested in doing sales, working with truck mechanic stuff, it'd be on that side of things. We're looking for a front counter staff. Any questions, concerns, give me a shout. I can explain everything to you over the phone, 780-8473.
All right, you can check it out, too, at nwtire.com. Great benefits, PTO, health insurance, 401k, all that stuff, and not to mention spring savings going on, too,
awesome
at Northwest Tire.
Sales,
so instant rebates on Bridgestones, Firestones, and also check out the NW credit card. All right, Northwest Tire, again, bringing you a Dirty Thursday. Any questions or comments for us, feel free to call or text 701-213-0863, 701-213-0863, and happy 420 day today.
Yeah, puff, give.
Yeah, there you go. Before we get too much further, time for a daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Here we go. Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. No joke today, but I do have an old racetrack announcer saying, never look at your beer as half empty. Look at it as halfway to your next beer. How's that?
I like it. Yes. Producer Paul probably approves of that one.
Yeah, or we could try this one. I might have used this one before. Did you ever hear the one, did I ever tell you guys this story about my great-grandfather when he started losing his hair?
No.
He invented this machine. It was genius. He could weave hair from yarn. I'm not kidding you. He could weave hair from yarn. So he ended up passing this down to my grandfather, who then passed it down to my father. And now that my father has passed, I'm hoping it gets passed on to me because, after all, it is a family heirloom. That one was pretty good.
He said that was so stupid. I heard it.
Home of Economy Indoor Racer Showcase is going on this weekend. Grand Forks Best Source. We're going to be there live Saturday.
Yeah.
Kicks off at 11 a.m. And come and check it out. They're going to have sprint cars, late models, go-karts, snowmobiles, BMX, bikes, racers, mechanics, food served by the Grand Forks Central Wrestling Team. And a lot of product giveaways and free samples,
too. It is so cool that thing goes on. That's a really neat thing. You should go there.
And we're
Food
be
is
there.
delicious.
We are going to be there live. And he was also going to mention this hot laps and laughs. Do you ever see that? That's something we need to talk about right now.
It's the first I've
so maybe we should be breaking news later.
Breaking news, yeah. Okay.
Is that at Bruce Hart's on Saturday?
No, it's at the East Grand Forks Eagles. They're trying to find the Grand Forks Racing Hall of Fame, create a permanent home for the Hall of Fame memorabilia. I figured that would be perfect at the racetrack myself, but I don't know. Okay.
I've never heard of this.
I'll give you some info on that, too, when we get out of here.
The River Cities Speedway has a Hall of Fame committee.
Here, you can take
and
this
memorabilia all over.
And all I know is there's a racer get-together at Bruce Hart's on Saturday.
On Saturday, yeah.
So
I planned on... this was from, who brought that down? No, it was Frank's daughter. Frank,
all I know is we have a Hall of
Frank
Fame.
Swangler. Yeah, his daughter brought that over. So anyway, also talked to Mark Dobmeyer yesterday. He's planning on getting back racing as soon as possible. What? Okay. And also want to wish... a get well soon to Shane Sexton, Lightning Sprint driver out in California, got hurt in the wreck. So, all right, let's see. Nick Curtis. What's that?
I think it's Jackie Dobmeyer's birthday today.
Oh, Jackie Dobmeyer's birthday. Happy birthday, Jackie. Okay, all right.
Kyle who?
Oh, Kyle Awney.
Kyle Awney.
Only 364 days until Kyle Awney's birthday again. It was happy late belated birthday, Kyle. There you go. I forgot to mention it yesterday. Billy Schletter, Perry Dobmeyer, Nick Curtis already all watching. Brad Seng, how are you?
Not bad. Yourself?
We're not doing too bad. I'm getting sick of winter. How about you?
And it's still winter.
I was going to say happy fall, everybody.
Yeah,
happy fall. Yeah.
So we got Brad Seng here, River Cities Speedway track owner, and also a racer. And we've also got county commissioner.
He stuttered over that.
I'm
also a racer. Yeah.
Well, I got guys handing me shit and doing stuff when I'm trying. And anyway, county commissioner Mark Rustad is also here.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome.
And, of course, Chad is here.
I'm here. Sorry,
We're
I
all
wasn't here
We're all
last week. Apologize.
No, that's okay.
1,700 procedures. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
The one time really kind of, it's like, you want to be there for Devil's Lake because I announced there and I support those guys, and that's all good. Being there with Heather and always fun, but I knew if I was going to miss it, some procedure was going to come up and add a dick-a-me thing, and then it's just all this other stuff comes up when I'm gone. So, and I was at work on my phone on a conference call, and I texted you on my phone. And I was listening, watching this, and I was paying more attention to this than I was my conference call. So, we're already getting warm in here.
It's warm in here today for some reason.
Man.
All
So,
right.
we're back here this week. So, apologize for being not even calling last week. So, I'm dark today.
Yeah, you are dark today.
Yeah. Hiding the bald head. It's okay. It's good. I don't want
right.
to blind out Brad.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the time of the year that we normally are going over track schedules.
That's
and
right.
We are going to be doing that with Brad Seng here with River Cities Speedway, who have got an aggressive schedule. But before we get rolling too much, I wanted to talk with Mark Rustad a little bit, Grand Forks County Commissioner. We had Bob Rost in here last week talking about this proposed jail addition. I guess it's not a proposed thing. It's happening, right?
Well, that's what I'm told.
That's what you're told. Now, okay, just a couple of quick questions. Who decides this? Is this something that should go to a vote, or does it need to go to a vote, or how do they decide it?
I think they had room left in their mill levy prior to our arrival.
Okay.
And it was decided upon, it would have been last year.
Uh-huh.
The way I understood it, what that meeting we were at is we did vote on it, and it was voted down about raising the taxes. So they just found the money somewhere else.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I think he's right. I think the initial thought process behind the sales tax vote was to primarily fund this jail expansion to the tune of just a skosh under $40 million.
Just a skosh.
Just a skosh.
And does them now all of a sudden not fixing the city hall, the dome? I know that got put on hold now. Does that have anything to do with that? Or?
No, that's still coming.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we met about that this morning because it's leaking like a sieve.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard this. There's like 30 child swimming pools up in the attic.
Really?
In that thing collecting water.
That much? Not a 5-gallon bucket type deal?
No. And there's like a series of pumps and stuff. It's pretty rough stuff.
Oh, boy.
When we get heavy rain, if today comes down as rain instead of snow, they're gonna be wet. The water cascading down the stairs.
Oh, boy. That is something.
That's not good.
All right, back to this jail. They're going to take a lot of room. A lot of room.
Yeah.
Is everybody going to be able to coexist out there happily with harmony and all that fun stuff?
Well, I don't know. I was opposed to the project before I met the fellas from the River City Speedway, before I got assigned to the fair board. Before all those things, because I didn't like it at its, surface level. I did not realize at that time the impact it was going to have on their operations, which makes me dislike the project even more. To me, I just thought I can't make it pencil out the numbers that we're being told. And, when you're given gross figures in a commission meeting rather than net figures, that is no way to do business. And like I said in the meeting, I could buy an apartment building that makes $20,000 a month, and it on the surface sounds like a great idea, but if it costs me $25,000 a month to own it, it's not the best deal. And so for me to even be somewhat comfortable with it, I would have to see where it actually makes money, housing all these federal inmates, and that would require net figures, not gross figures, and that would include burden rate for staff. That would include toiletries, food, laundry, additional utilities, wear and tear on the facility, a broken down figure. And if it winds up being that it's a fantastic idea, okay, fine. But let's do it where we're not creating a huge threat to a huge economic engine in Grand Forks. And so, I mentioned this at the Fair Board meeting yesterday, and I don't know if those minutes are public or not, but they're about to become public. I mentioned that has the engineering firm been challenged to come up with something that doesn't hinder their ability to do what they like to do, which is draw people from all over the region, and in some cases way outside of the region, I'm learning, to come here on the weekends, spend hard-earned dollars, and have a hell of a time.
Yeah.
And I'm not interested in hindering what they're trying to do. And so I know that, they're trying to be good partners and come up with a solution. But, even going back to way before I was elected, I believe the solution is to halt the project.
Yeah. And is there any way, anybody could band together and get this thing halted? Or we just keep hoping we get snow and rain and they can't do any work? Or,
Well, there's a few hurdles that the county's going to have. Some of it is going to be the short construction season. But I'd say the largest one is the fact that they don't own all the property.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a snafu.
But now I understand they're going to keep just rolling, even though they don't own all the property. Or
I don't know how that's possible.
Okay.
I think the drawing board needs to be reassessed. I won't have my fingerprints on something where we're encroaching upon another organization's property and through any sort of we'll call it bullying or throwing our weight around.
Sure.
I'm not going to be involved in something like that.
And the main reason, and I thank you again, Mark, for coming in. The main reason we wanted you in here is because a lot of people seem to be under the assumption that all of the county commissioners wanted this thing and they want it to roll through, and they want it to roll through as fast as possible. And we try to tell them, no, that's not the case. They all don't want it. And you're here to prove that.
Well, there's a new commission now that's different from the one that agreed upon this prior. So, 2 new members, including myself and Kimberly Hagan. So there's, I don't know what her stance 100% is on all this because we haven't talked about it in depth together, but I can promise you that she's kind of, it doesn't smell perfect to her either. And I don't know. I just, I didn't become elected to try to be some kind of guy throwing my weight around.
Right.
And this is a partnership with the River Cities Speedway and the county and the city that's gone for how many years, Brad?
Oh boy, the first race was it's like 99 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So I think spitting in the face of a entity like that is just bad business. And I will fully admit I have not been to the races since I was in high school, but I think that's about to change because Brad graciously extended an offer to me.
You can come up and sit with me in the booth if you want.
You can come hang out in the middle, man. We can get you taken care of. That's not a problem.
So, I mean, I don't know the property well because I haven't spent significant time there. It's not a hobby that I've had, but you know what? People have the sound of those cars going around. To me, was always the sound of a whole bunch of people having a hell of a lot of fucking fun.
Yep. That's exactly it.
Amen.
And I'm not. Who would want to be getting in the way of any of that?
Yeah.
It is almost May, and we're expecting 8 inches of snow today. Okay, I'm sure that's what we all wanted.
Yeah.
Our period of time to have outdoor fun in this community is so abbreviated. It's a joke.
Yeah, I know.
And then, I mean, that's why anytime, and I guarantee you, everyone at this table feels the same way. The minute you get a wedding invitation, you just go, oh. Because it's one less weekend. You get,
I know.
That's so true.
I think I'm going to have an appendicitis that weekend.
Yeah.
And not only is this going to possibly, I mean, we don't know nothing yet, affect the Speedway. I mean, there's a fair.
Yeah.
You know, when you come to town, where does the fair people have their little village?
That's a great position there because I didn't think of that right away. But they all park right back there.
Yeah,
that's
all their campers.
That's their village. That's their power. That's their water. That's their whatever.
Yeah.
And the fair board has done an absolutely fantastic job of kind of turning the perception of what goes on out there. You know. To a family fun experience.
Absolutely.
And now all of a sudden to have that eyesore. Well, you give them a bad experience, it's going to take a while to get them back again.
Absolutely.
Well, who's going to want to come out and go to a family fun event with a federal prison right next door?
Well, I mean, hey, this is going to be a country club when it's done. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen the render. It's like they live better than.
Yeah, and you know what? I spent a good half hour this morning looking for a rendering of what they want to do, and I can't find it anywhere. I looked at the Grand Forks County. I looked at the jail. I looked at everything, and I couldn't find anything. And it looks like we're going to get something up here. But
I might have brought the wrong folder inside.
okay. And another thing is too is it's just not the fair and it's just not the races. We've got all the horse things that are going on over there too.
But how about the go-karts?
The go-kart
They
track?
are not going to be able to park on that road, which they probably shouldn't anyway. They're going to have to
You
learn
mean
to walk
the
further.
road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to have to walk further, but just a lot of, again, if this has been going on for a couple of years and all of a sudden we got to make a lot of decisions in 3 weeks.
It's not right.
Yep. No.
It's not right by no means. Everybody needs to play together in one team.
Yeah, and I mean, how would you like to own? I mean, look at the big store right across the road from there. You know, home of economy. And now, what do you do when you look out the window from there? You're going to just see nothing but jail.
You're going to take, especially during the John Sites race.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, where's that overflow
Yeah.
pits? That's all the stuff that we got to try to figure out in a few weeks, and hopefully the commissioners and then are on board with what we're thinking.
Right.
And you know what? We're not of course we don't want it to go on. However, we got to work together too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that is, I think, the whole thing about this is trying to work in harmony, trying to make all of this be able to work together alongside each other. Everybody says that's what we want to do. That's how it's going to go. But when you hear everything, it's like, well, how can it possibly work?
Well, what else are they going to do? Paul, what do you think? You got to.
So for anybody that's like me right now that wants some clarification on this, so you're losing that road that goes right after the broken drum, right?
No, that's staying there.
No,
That
it'd
one's
be the
staying there.
one. Yeah, it'd be the one right before the jail where you turn in that goes
I
alongside
know there's
the
that
go-kart.
one that where you go through the mill. There's
Yeah.
way through that.
Right where the sign is.
Yeah, right next to the trailer court would be the next road.
So that road is actually going to stay there. What they want to do is take all the property that the Fair Board owns that the commission didn't even know the Fair Board owned it. They thought they owned it. That's why this deal's in a snafu right now. They want to stage all their equipment and everything over there, but they don't want that road to be pit road. Well, there's 70 race teams out there on a Friday night. I can tell you there's probably 35 to 40 80-foot long haulers.
Yeah.
They're not going to make that corner.
Yep.
So there's I've been involved with some talks with the Fair Board people, along with because it's going to affect us at some point, and some of the stuff being thrown around is, what you guys may want, we want the same acreage in return.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. On the site.
Like for like.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the site.
It's got to be a win-win.
Yeah.
It's got to be a win-win. Otherwise,
For
this isn't
everybody.
going to work. Yeah.
Right,
Everybody's
right.
got to work together and figure out how we're going to make this coincide together.
Sure.
Otherwise, one party is going to be pissed off at the other party when there is probably a solution that we could talk about together. So, what do you think, Paul? You got something else?
Yeah, so when I was talking to somebody about this, like when Bob Ross is on the show, they keep talking about all these like things that they're going to do, but those are just like hopes and dreams. Like that has nothing to do with even like building the jail. It's just kind of like, okay, so you're going to promise this, you're going to promise that, you're going to promise that to make this thing sound like it's a really good deal, but you have no idea of how you're going to fulfill those promises. Does that make any sense? I mean, it's basically it's like sugar coating it, but the sugar when it's built, then we don't have enough money left for the sugar.
In today's age, I would honestly say, not like yesterday. How many times growing up did you ever hear how businesses were done on a napkin? That won't happen anymore. I mean, all the I's and T's and what you said, like you just said.
Nothing
Well,
goes
you
in a
said-
handshake anymore.
You said, before my time, I was told that the current jail, that green space at the corner of where the exit road is, or between the jail and the fairgrounds.
Yep.
And the go-karts.
Oh, yeah, that road. Yeah.
that was a handshake deal that you guys could basically run every car up to the jail and use that green space as parking. You ever drove down that road? There's a sign every 3 feet that says
No parking.
Yeah.
No parking. No parking.
Yep. And I don't know, how many cars do you ever see at the jail? I know when I'm going by either home for economy or going to the racetrack, and I mean, most of the people at jail,
They get rides.
in jail, they don't drive themselves to jail. But another thing is when we talk about this, and there, on one hand, it's the housing federal prisoners, and I heard you get $100 a day for them or something. Okay, that's one guy one night at a racetrack during World of Outlaws, easy. Okay. But then when you bring it up, like, okay, federal prisoners, we don't want them in town. They shouldn't be in city limits. Then they say, well, no, it's about the juvenile detention center.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a juvenile, but it's like every time I ask anybody, they flip-flop.
The water's pretty muddy.
It is.
The water's pretty
It's
muddy.
Pretty murky.
Yeah.
Pretty murky. And I was going to mention this to you too, Mark. Get there early one day with me. We'll do the whole, I'll steal a golf cart. We'll go into the pits. I'll show you what it's like in the pits. We get to talk to these guys who are incredible. You can sit wherever you want at the racetrack. You can either sit with me. You can go hang out with Chad in the infield. It's pretty fun there. And then after the races, we go back to the pits when they're all done. That's when you see what this racing means to these families, these kids that look at guys like Brad like they're rock stars, and these guys, they put them in their cars, they let them sit in the trailers in the cars and take pictures and sign their autograph, their hero cards and everything. It's really, really a cool time.
Yeah, it's real. That's the other family side of things, right? So I always talk about this all the time with everybody, and I was like, I have my family, but then I have my racing family. That's a totally different group of people. That's trust and everything. So that's huge. And you hit the nail on the head, buddy. Yeah, it's after the races, it's so cool to watch all the kids go down there and see all that. So I hope this can get worked out. I know Mark's working on it. Brad obviously is involved. Everybody kind of knows. Hopefully this can come to a win-win, but we are dealing with government.
Honestly, I think it can be an easy fix.
Yes.
Right?
So there's got to be a little give and take.
Yeah.
From everybody.
Somebody's got to listen. That's it. Just let's listen to all ideas. Let's make sure everything's on the table. If you don't listen and your nose is up in the air, then you ain't gonna get nothing done. So
one more question. So why couldn't they just have an architect just redesign something that goes the other direction?
That has been brought up too.
Okay.
That was a thought that I was kind of mentioned to them at the fair board yesterday. Is have they been challenged to try to come up with a solution that doesn't impact the River City Speedway and doesn't impact the county fair? And I don't know that we know that challenge has been issued to them. And does it have to be 60 beds? Does it have to be?
Yeah.
I mean, could it be 35 and then have little to no impact, but we still get the expansion that they want? I mean, I don't know. I'm not into the jail directing game. I don't know how this stuff works. All I know is that what I'm told about housing the federal inmates, I don't like. So I'm not going to support, and I don't know that there's even more votes coming, but I'm not going to support this project, both in the media like this or behind the scenes in board meetings, whether it be the commission or the fair board or whatever, unless there's a full endorsement from the fair board and River City Speedway, because they're the ones that have to feel the brunt of it. Not to mention the taxpayers, which is why I didn't want the thing in the first place. Right. But that's neither here nor there. When you're doing something like of this magnitude, this close to another entity, I mean, there's kind of a victim here almost. I mean, I hate to use that word because it gets thrown around a lot, but it's not going to negatively impact the jail to have construction going on and expand it, but it sure as hell will negatively impact the other folks, whether that be
I think it also negatively impact Grand Forks as itself for how many people we can bring into that place.
Yeah.
If we can't bring in the normal car count we can always bring in on the Johnson's Memorial because we're running out of room, that's gonna impact Grand Forks in a whole.
Yeah, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, with these meetings that you guys have been going to, has an engineer even showed up at any of these meetings to explain any of this? Because what I've been hearing is there's no engineers there for this that can explain any of this stuff. I mean, I might be wrong.
There was people from construction engineers. I don't know whether they were engineers or not.
Okay.
but they were, what was it, the job foreman or something like that, Brad?
Yeah, but
Yeah, he was the messenger.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, they weren't the true engineers on the job, were they?
Icon was,
Okay.
I believe, the engineers. But like I said, I think this meeting started off, and then I think it was showed that not all the property was theirs, and the meeting kind of came to an end. And let's everyone go to the table and see if we can make something work out.
Yeah.
All right.
We have to.
They've illustrated in every meeting I've sat in with the Fair Board and the River City Speedway people a real willingness to be flexible. I think it is incumbent upon the county to keep that exact same tenor and do the same thing in return, with the full understanding that it's not the county's business that's getting disrupted here. It's theirs.
Yeah.
It's their private businesses. In some cases, it's probably livelihoods for people. You know, when you're talking, a lot of people work concession stands, things like that.
Yeah.
They count on
You're
a certain number
looking
of
at
people.
2-3 of us here, you know?
And so there's got to be an understanding, and that this must be a deal where he mentioned a handshake's no good anymore, but this needs to be on paper and a handshake. We need to walk away patting each other on the back, and not walk away pissed off, feeling like we got gypped. And in most negotiations, I know that wiser people than me have always said there's always you always feel like even if you won, you lost something. I hope that not to be the case. I'd like to see where the county gets their wishes and the River City Speedway and the fair gets their wishes. Because it is a big enough swath of property that there's got to be some freaking flexibility here. There has to be.
Yeah.
You know, and I imagine that this original plan for this next phase of the jail expansion was likely put together under the impression that the county owned the land it was being done on.
Well, obviously, when I heard that, I about pooped my pants. I'm not kidding you. I'm like, wait a minute. What? You're kidding me. Yeah, they just found out they don't own it all. And I'm like,
In the business, they call those game changers.
We got to keep talking here. We're going to get to the River City Speedway schedule for this year, but we had to get this out of the way.
This is big news. I mean, this is something
huge
that has
news.
to be touched on.
It's huge news.
So one of because somebody asked this question, and maybe Brad can answer it. So somebody made a mention of, I don't know what the deal is with the grandstands. Everybody's always talking about the grandstands, but saying that when they do this remodel of the jail, that they could take some of that income and redo the grandstands as part of the deal.
There's nothing that's unturned when we're going to sit down.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. We got a lot of texts we're going to talk about, but right now we're going to take a little break, give some of our sponsors a shout out here, including Muskox. Hey, if you move snow with a skid steer, you've got to see the Muskox difference. A patented back drag feature allows operators to blow snow while back dragging in front of obstructions. You know, garage doors, siding, and fire hydrants. Now, this saves time and money while lowering injury risk by decreasing manual labor. The optional dual auger, called the dually, helps the operator eat through big snowfalls, ice-crusted snow, and blow more snow while back dragging. And the glide plate, it allows you to glide over grass and gravel without ripping up the soft surfaces. Subsequently, create an instant torque of the lower cutting edge to break up snow and ice to better expose hard surfaces. See the Muskox difference. Go to muskox.com or Facebook at Muskox Snowblowers or call 218-288-1905. See the difference for yourself. It's the Muskox difference. Oh, as we need just a little bit more time to crack another bush latte, let's hear from another one of our sponsors, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Want an oil change in a hurry? This is not a dream when you go to Valvoline Instant Oil Change in Grand Forks. Heck, you can sit in your car while they change your oil. It's that fast, and you don't even need an appointment. And make sure to register for free tickets for the toughest monster truck tour coming to Grand Forks April 22nd at the Alara Center, and pick up free pit passes too. Be watching for one of these awesome trucks beforehand at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Oil changes and more, done fast, so that you can get on with your day at Valvoline Instant Oil Change. 3325 South 38th Street, or call 701-780-8462, and make sure to tell them that Grand Forks Best Source sent you. Sure.
We'll take that.
All right. Okay. Yeah, we're going over some things. Welcome back to a Dirty Thursday. Mark Rustad, Grand Forks County Commissioner, in the studio today, along with Brad Seng with River Cities Speedway, and of course the other half of the Bullring Boys, Chad Hopp. Brad, boy, your daughter Brina, she's like a professional now.
Don't forget about the Valvoline.
Oh, Valvoline. Oh, yeah, I forgot to tell you, Valvoline. The monster trucks are going to be in the parking lot tomorrow.
Yeah,
and they're also going to be drawing for free tickets this afternoon. So if you did put your name in for free tickets for Monster
they did the
Trucks
drawing already.
Well, they might have. I know it was going to be today.
Yeah,
this afternoon. But Monster Truck will be at the Valvoline parking lot tomorrow. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. 3 to 5.
3 to 5 tomorrow. Hoping for good weather for the guys over there at Tire One for sure.
Yeah. Brina says I'm the better Seng on the show. We had her on the show, so. She thinks she's a lot better.
What time is it?
What time is it?
I think she's
supposed to be in school. It's 11:30.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What, you guys get a new shop cat? What's the deal with the shop cat?
Oh.
Hey,
Dave Rosenthal says it's your favorite pet.
We heard last time he loves cats.
Yeah.
This cat came out of the back of a trailer one day and hasn't left.
Oh boy.
Over at S&S?
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, but cats are bad to have around. I mean, is it a mouser?
When they're not around.
Yeah.
They're the world's dirtiest animal. Think about it.
Well, yeah.
Piss and shit and they're whatever and then walk around.
Yeah.
And they're
I know.
the world's dirtiest animal and everyone wants to cuddle and
They bring you dead mice and mouse heads and rabbit heads and all that kind of stuff.
You walk around your house and your feet crunch. And
Yeah.
You remember the picture Brianna showed with him and the cat on top? He was all excited for that cat to be on him. You know that.
They pay attention to the people that don't pay attention to them.
Did you name it?
No.
Why would... He doesn't want any kind of emotional... There's nothing to it. No one attached.
Josh says Brina should be in class. Let's see. Speedy Racer Shop Horse. Tounces. I think he named it Tounces. He's our freight inspector. All right. I do want to mention this. Amy says, I've been going to the racetrack since I was born. Very sad to see the county taking over the fairgrounds. My best memories as a kid were walking across the track into the pits with my siblings and cousins. If someone runs for county commissioner saying that they are supporting the track, that's what they should be doing, not support of a new jail.
Well, let's make that clear now. They're not taking over the racetrack because they can't.
No.
They don't even own the property. So there's a lot of hoops to go through yet. So
the commission and whatever, they're like they know the impact at the racetrack.
Yeah,
and
trust me, Mark. Just talking to Mark for this little bit.
They're not trying to tear it down.
No. Talking to Mark here for this little bit, he's on board, so he knows what's going on.
Yeah.
He's all about helping out. He's told you guys already on here that he's not going to support anything without a win-win. So let's just pay attention to that.
So I just did some quick math you guys might find interesting.
Oh, go.
So out of the $38 million project cost, if we assume $8 million of that is for the juvenile detention center and $30 million of it is for the jail expansion, for those 60 beds at what's current is $75 a day. It's potentially going to go up to $100, but right now it's $75 a day. To just pay for that $30 million, which isn't even the entire bond, it's going to be 18.25 years if there's zero expense. So we starve them. We don't do their laundry.
Don't let them poop. Starve them.
We don't have any guards around them at all, ever. And we don't pay anybody to help them in any way, shape, or form. 18.25 years.
Hell, I'll let them can spend the night in my garage for $10.
Yeah, gee, Chris.
That is something when they come up with those numbers.
That brings me almost to retirement age before we see anything as a return on investment if there's zero expense.
Wow. That tells you something right there. All right.
That's a mic drop, if you honestly think about it.
Yeah, it is. It is.
The business side of things, that's a mic drop.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk a little racing here. Yeah. Have you been out to the track?
Oh, yeah.
How's it looking?
Sporty.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people don't realize when they look and they see snow and things like that. Racetracks are a little different. In the summer, if we get a bunch of rain, the track usually isn't the issue. It's the pits, the infield, things like that. Tracks, they need water to get them racing anyway. Now, this year, and in the spring, early in the year, it's usually frost that kicks our butt. Because you don't see it, it's down low, and that stuff keeps working its way up. Well, from what my understanding is this year, and just looking even at my yard, Lake Roberts didn't even exist this year. Of course, after I spent how many hundreds on pumps and things to get it ready.
Right.
The ground it's not froze. So the water is I mean, I don't think everybody's worried about floods. You know, my mom called me last night. So which bridge do you have to take to get home now? It's like, Mom, don't worry about it. It's not going to get that bad.
Right.
You think we're going to be racing opening night when they want us to start here? Be iffy. I mean, it's always a crapshoot.
Let's put it this way: our schedule says we're racing May 5th. Mm-hmm. That's what we're shooting for.
Right.
I can tell you the water's not turned on out there right now. Mm-hmm. You know, because it's still supposed to be in the teens next weekend.
Yep. Don't want busted pipes. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it shows that we're gonna, you know, we're on board. Kenny or Tommy's been out there.
Yep.
Every day working. Keith has went out and he snowblowed the racetrack off and everything. So I know that Scott's meeting with some vendors and stuff tomorrow. So our direction is moving for May 5th. We will let people know well in advance if that's not going to happen.
Awesome. We did get another text. Maybe you can answer this one. Daryl from one of our Canadian friends. They're here all the time. Good morning, Bullring boys and guests. Late to the party today. Sorry if I missed it. Will this change camping on the fairgrounds for race weekends? This construction.
The camping over by that 4-H building obviously is going to be impacted. And, you know, I mean, that's another thing is there were Fair Board members that put their campers out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier just after the night. I mean, after a 16-hour day, it's easier just to go over there and sleep and get up at 5 and start again in the morning.
Yep.
So all that.
I mean, they're diehards.
Right. From what I've heard right now, the camping is not going to be impacted.
Okay, good.
However, you might be listening to a jackhammer.
Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah.
Right.
Josh Johnson says, just on a regular Friday night, River Cities Speedway not only brings in fans and racers from Grand Forks and surrounding areas, but also Devil's Lake, Bemidji, Thief River Falls, Fargo, and even Winnipeg metro area. Something to be proud of. Absolutely. And thank you, Josh, for coming in.
Thanks, Josh.
Schedule at River Cities Speedway this year. Boy, I tell you, another thing I wanted to mention before we start talking about the schedule. Not only is River City Speedway one hell of a racetrack, but it was voted the raciest track on the planet. I think, what do they do that, every 4 years? Remember we got that?
10 Live, wasn't Yeah,
and then
10 racetrack.
But this was a couple years ago, and now we just got the #1 rating from Penn Live. Johnny Gibson, his favorite racetrack.
Yep.
It was Rick Eshelman's favorite racetrack. This isn't just a little racetrack out in the middle of nowhere. This is a racetrack that if you know anything about dirt track racing, whether you live here or Auckland, New Zealand, you know about River City Speedway. So I got that
100%. Even the IRA boys, when they came here, they knew what they're getting into already when they got here. They just didn't know how fast it was going to be.
I think the biggest question on everybody's mind right now is how the fuck are you able to come up with a town in New Zealand off the top of your head?
I follow dirt track racing.
Yeah, he's not that smart, Mark.
Guns to my head. Name a town in New Zealand, and I won't pull the trigger.
I could have said
yank it.
I could have said Ukamogo, New Zealand, and he would have thought it was a town.
That's
Oh boy. Schedule this year, it's exciting. It's very aggressive.
Yeah.
It is cool.
Let's talk a little bit about it. We did go over some of the notes, but I mean, I'm just going to go through a few here, and then we'll go back and talk about them. I got the World of Outlaw sprint cars here twice. World of Outlaw late models are going to be here. We got the Rebel Midwest Mod Tour. We got the Demo Derby back during Fair Week. We're going to have the NLRA Lightning Sprints. We got the Wayne Anderson Cup races, 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. IMCA Red River Sprints, non-wing sprints, A-mods. We got the IRA versus Enosa Sprints, Buffalo Wild Wing, King of the Wings. We got the Big Motor Mania. We got Minn Kota Lightning Sprint Nationals, the John Sites. Where do you want to start? There's so many good nights of racing coming up.
Yeah, I mean it. Like anything, if you're sitting on your. If we go read the print all the time, with just what you were talking about, guess what? And do we do the same thing over and over and over?
No.
Pretty soon it's going to get stagnant.
Exactly.
So we as a group are trying to get a little more aggressive on our scheduling and maybe not races. With having sprint cars and late models all year on the same night, with the expenses and everything going up all the time, we may have to split them up a few times.
Yeah.
But when we're splitting them up, we're bringing in the A mods.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's whether the sprint cars weren't there or the late models weren't there. If you haven't watched those A mods go around there, oh my
Oh
God,
yeah. Oh yeah.
they are insane.
Especially if you're in corner one, sitting in the grandstands, you might have mud on you if you're sitting in the first 4 rows.
Yeah. And I'm kind of interested in seeing these 305 sprints, things like that. I think